So it starts in this old English village, and there are these three little girls just playing in a room, having a good time. But then they all just stop. They stare at this dark corner like they see something, and then they just walk over to the window and jump out, all three of them, dead. And then you just see this creepy dark shadow in the room. Okay, so fast forward a bunch of years. We meet the main guy, Arthur Kipps. His wife died giving birth to their son a few years back, so he's super bummed out all the time. His boss tells him he has to go to that same village to sell this super old, creepy place called Eel Marsh House. He leaves his little boy with a nanny, but promises they can come visit him in a few days, which is a big deal later. So he's on the train, and he meets this rich guy who's like, "You'll never sell that house. No one will buy it." Total red flag. Then Kipps gets to the hotel, and the owner straight up refuses to give him a room. But the owner's wife feels bad and gives him one. And get this, it's the same room where those little girls jumped from. The next morning, the local lawyer guy he's supposed to work with is super hostile. He's like, "You shouldn't have come. Here are the papers. Now get out of town on the next train." The whole village just wants him gone. They do not want him messing with Eel Marsh House. But Kipps is like, whatever, I have a job to do. He pays a carriage driver extra to take him out to the house. And this place is in the middle of nowhere. It's on this swampy island with a single road that floods, and there's a graveyard right next to it. Super spooky. So he gets inside, and right away he sees this black shadow behind him. He spins around, but there's nothing there. He just tries to ignore it and starts working. Then he looks out a window and sees a lady, dressed all in black, just standing in the graveyard. He runs downstairs to see who it is, and poof, she's gone. The carriage driver comes back for him in the evening. When Kipps gets back to the village, he tells the local cop everything, but the cop just blows him off, no biggie. But right then, these two little boys come running up carrying this little girl. They're like, "She's sick, she drank something bad." And dude, the girl looks horrible, just totally out of it. Kipps sees her and just starts yelling for the cop to help. But the cop just stands there and does nothing. So the little girl just dies right in front of them. So that night, Kipps goes to see that rich guy from the train, Mr. Daly. So they're talking, and Daly spills the beans that their own son died young. He's like, "My wife gets these weird fits where she says our dead son is talking to her," but he thinks she's just nuts. And right on cue, his wife starts freaking out. She grabs a knife and just starts carving this picture into the table. And get this, it's a drawing of a woman hanging herself. Kipps is totally shocked. The next day, Kipps goes to the house of the girl who died, and her sister is just locked in the basement. The dad shows up and starts screaming at Kipps, blaming him for his daughter's death. Basically, the whole village knows the deal. Every time someone sees that lady in black, another kid dies. And they're all begging him to just go back to London. But Kipps is stubborn and refuses to leave. So Daly drives him back out to Eel Marsh House, and Kipps is like, "I'm staying the night to get this work done." Daly thinks he's crazy, but leaves his dog with him for protection. So it gets dark, Kipps lights a bunch of candles and starts going through all the old papers in the house. And he finds these letters, and it all starts to make sense. It turns out the owner of the house, this woman Alice, stole her own sister's kid. The sister's name was Janet, and Alice wouldn't even let Janet see her own son. And then the kid died in an accident right there in the marsh. Janet was so destroyed, and she blamed Alice for not saving him. She even wrote a letter saying, "You're his killer." Kipps finds the kid's death certificate, and then he finds the biggest secret of all. Janet was so full of grief and rage that she hanged herself right there in her son's old nursery. So that's the woman in black. It all clicks into place. Suddenly, Daly's dog just starts going nuts, barking at the door. Kipps goes outside, and the weather is totally insane, just pouring rain. And then he looks out towards the marsh, and he sees the ghosts of all the dead village children just standing out there in the fog. So Kipps sees all the ghost kids and runs back inside, totally freaked out. He finds this one door upstairs that's locked tight. He grabs an axe to bust it open, but when he comes back, the door is just wide open on its own. He walks in, and this rocking chair is just rocking back and forth like someone's sitting in it, but it's empty. Then he looks up, and he sees the ghost of the hanging woman just for a second. She vanishes, and he's so scared. A ghost kid appears and makes it even worse. He runs, and then the woman in black is coming right for him down the hall. He locks himself in a room, but the bedsheets turn black, and the ghost kid starts rising out of them. He screams and runs downstairs, heading for the front door, and bam! Mr. Daly is standing there. He came back to get Kipps. Kipps realizes the whole night has passed, and he tells Daly everything. But Daly just thinks he's gone crazy. They get back to the village, and the lawyer's house is on fire. Kipps runs to the basement to save the little girl, but he sees Janet's ghost telling the girl to do it. Kipps tries to stop her, but the girl just sets herself on fire. He's horrified. He goes back to Daly's house, and Daly's wife has another one of her fits. Her voice totally changes, and she says she makes us do it. And then they see visions of all the kids who killed themselves because Janet's ghost told them to. It all clicks for Kipps. The woman in black is Janet's vengeful ghost, and she's taking it out on all the village children. So Kipps gets this idea: reunite Janet's ghost with her son's body. He thinks maybe that will calm her down. Daly's like, bad idea, they never even found the body, but Kipps is determined. He goes back to the marsh, ties a rope to himself and the car, and just wades into that gross mud. After a ton of searching, he actually finds the kid's skeleton. He takes the body back to the house and lays it out in the nursery, surrounding it with all of Janet's old letters. Then Janet's ghost finally appears. She moves right through Kipps, and he just collapses in fear. She sees her son's body, and for a second, she seems calm. Then she's gone. Daly gets out of the room he was trapped in, and Kipps is like, it's over. Now we just have to bury them together. So they bury the mother and son in the same grave. Kipps thinks the curse is broken. He goes to the train station to meet his own son and the nanny who just arrived. He's so happy to see them. He tells Daly they're all leaving for London on the next train. But while he's talking to Daly, his son lets go of his hand and just starts walking onto the tracks right in front of a speeding train. And then Kipps sees her again, the woman in black standing on the other side of the platform. He screams and runs to save his son, but it's too late. The train hits them both. Then Daly sees the ghosts of all the dead children, and Janet is there with them. On the other side, in the fog, Kipps wakes up. He sees his dead wife, and she takes his hand. His son is there too. The three of them are finally reunited as a family in death, and the very last shot is of Janet's ghost. But now, she just looks sad, like maybe she regrets what she's done. And that's how it ends.